Well, it's clear that Canada has done relatively well through the financial crisis. We've managed to avoid having to bail out any banks or to have any bank crisis, unlike some of the major countries involved, the United States, Europe, and that's worth noting, and it's worth understanding how Canada got to this place. There's a bit of a mythology that has sprung up around the performance of the developing countries and emerging markets, that somehow they have turned a corner and they escaped the worst effects of the financial crisis. This is certainly true in the case of some emerging markets and some developing countries, but it's not universally true. So what I tried to unpackage in the chapter is a more comprehensive account of what happened in the developing countries, and to take issue a bit with this new notion that the developing countries and the emerging markets have turned a corner, that they have somehow endowed themselves with greater resilience, that they've decoupled themselves from the old war horses of the global economy in the United States and Europe. Again, those things are true, more true in some cases than in others. China is part of this story, but just to illustrate, how I deal with the issue, China is not going to grow at 10% plus forever. It's already slowing down. The Chinese recognize that fact themselves, and that's going to have an impact on the rest of the world. So a lot of developing countries that have done well, and Canada for that matter, that have done well through selling commodities and other items to China are going to do less well as China slows down. So there's an issue of robustness and longevity. How much can we infer from things that have happened the past decade? How much can we infer that those things are going to continue, for years and years? For decades or more. I don't think they will. I think it's much more prudent to assume that the past is a bit of a mirror on what we might expect in the near future, but 5, 10, 15 years down the road, the world's going to be different again.